Hey guys, what's up? Marcos Villegas here, doing another one of these YouTube live things for you guys over here at the channel. Getting a few things set up for you all to talk about a lot of action happening over the weekend in terms of fights. A lot of good fights, a lot of bad things that happened as well over the weekend. So want to go ahead and touch on a few fights, a few things that happened, and a few newsworthy type things that happened over the World Combat Sports. First, if you're tuning in for the first time, hello, my name is Marcos Villegas. Welcome to this. I made a promise to you guys that I would try to be consistent with this live chat with you guys here because we want to connect with you guys a lot more here on the channel. Oh man, let me just get it. I'm getting your guys' comments already. But make sure to follow us social media at FightUpTV on Twitter and Instagram, and then follow me as well at Hey It's Marcos V. And now let's get right to it. The first thing that I wanted to touch on was this whole situation involving Cris Cyborg and Angela Magana, because I just saw all that stuff that happened on my Instagram feed. The first initial thing that comes to mind is talk shit, you get hit. It's kind of a rule of life. You talk a lot of trash, you got to back it up, and you can't blame someone for confronting you if you're going to be talking a lot of trash. Now, this is exactly what happened in her situation. Cris Cyborg confronted Magana at the athlete retreat where the UFC has all their athletes go, and they go through corporate brainwashing. Pretty much what it is, which I think what it is, and she confronted her, and reports indicate that they had a confrontation, and Cyborg hit her in the mouth, busted her lip up, and now she's going ahead and pressed charges, which I find kind of ironic, being she was the one that talked all the mess and attacked Cyborg online, and then she gets confronted for the mess that she's talking, and then she gets hit, and then she calls the cops. It's just kind of like, let me tell you this. It's tricky for me to really say how I really feel, because fighters get butthurt big time when you tell it how it is. And then they go and they won't want to give you interviews because you honestly told the truth. You called a spade and what it is, So it's like a fine balance being in my position, because I got to balance not putting too much of my opinion and putting what you guys want to be told or heard. But in that situation, what do you expect? You talked all this mess, and you're going to expect nobody to, or the person you talked mess about, not to go ahead and confront you? Like, really? Like, come on, and then you go and you call the cops? Like, what is that? You copped out, Can't compare verbal abuse with physical. Yeah, George, but you know what? If you talk all that mess and you bully someone online and harass them in a derogatory manner, you can't, the two wrongs don't make a right, obviously, but it's kind of a thing where, coming from, even at school, you go to school, you make fun of someone and you bully someone, that person's going to confront you at some point and do something for you to stop bullying them, and she's a professional fighter. Like, that's the thing. She can take a punch. She trains for a living. She's a pro fighter, so like for her to call the cops, it's just very odd, very, very odd for me. Take the punch. You deserve to get hit for harassing someone like that online. So that's all I'm gonna say. I think it's kind of funny that she's gonna go and press charges for making fun of someone and someone going to defend themselves because you made fun of them. Makes no sense to me. But all right. Let's get to the fights, man. A lot of good stuff. Yeah, the UFC did call the cops, which I found funny. I'm going to get to your guys' questions, too. I'm trying to balance getting the topics and your guys' questions and stuff. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and go recap some of the fights that happened. And then you guys keep throwing in your questions. And then I'm going to go ahead and balance the two with what you guys are sending me. So first off, Terrence Crawford beat the brakes off of Felix Diaz Jr. Over the weekend. Absolutely no competition whatsoever. Crawford toyed with this guy for 10 rounds, He was stopped eventually in the end of the 10th round. His corner did not want him to take any more punishment. Very, very dominant win for Terence Crawford. Crawford, sorry, I'm getting text messages while I'm doing this. I wish there was an option to shut off text. If there's an option to shut off text messages, guys, let me know, because I want my focus to be with you guys. So, you know what? Felix Diaz was no joke, man. An Olympic gold medalist for the Dominican Republic. Very scrappy guy. Likes to go on the inside and dig. Though he's very, very short for the division. And Crawford was just too much with him. Crawford has too much reach, too much skill. He's a switch hitter, is able to fight southpaw and orthodox. But in this fight, he stuck to fighting completely southpaw in it. And right now, I don't see anybody beating him at 140 pounds. He's just too skilled, too big, and too long. And Diaz could really never get past the height and reach to get into his distance. And even when he was on the inside, he wasn't able to work, which was really odd, because he's an inside guy and he does a lot of his working on the inside. So that was more credit to what Terence provides as a fighter and the skills that he has as well. So Crawford, oddly, I thought it was odd, called out Keith Thurman. I thought that was extremely odd, like out of left field. I was just like, what? Keith Thurman? Like, what are you talking about, man? Not saying anything that it wouldn't be competitive or anything, but it just caught me off left field, I think that'd be a great fight. Keith Thurman is probably number one, number two by most people's accounts in the welterweight division. The other one being Errol Spence, who has a big fight coming up this weekend, Saturday, against Kell Brook. Terence Crawford, though, is legit. He's going to be seen pretty much, I think, in the next year as number one, number two, pound for pound, if people don't already have him on there. Yes, I do understand that the competition he's had isn't like the elite, but you know what? He's cleaned out 140. He did fight Victor Postol, who was a world champion, took his belt from him. Postol was undefeated. That was a very high quality, high level rival. After that, he went and fought Lundy, Molina, and now Diaz. Diaz had a very good resume, fought Lamont Peterson. Many felt that he won that fight against Lamont Peterson. So you could make the argument that Diaz was technically undefeated, and he was a gold medalist as well. So that's a top-notch, legit win for Terence Crawford. I'd love to see him fight Mikey Garcia. I think that'd be a tremendous fight, great fight, if that were to happen. Now, moving on to what happened in the Dirrell and Uzcatageui fight. Man, that was crazy. It was like a WWF match in there. Like, I remember I tweeted out Royal Rumble. But a few things in terms of what the referee did in the aftermath of the late punch. Now, from what I've learned, I'm not tripping. Come on, George. No way. All right, hold on a second, guys. Let me get to this Uzcatageui thing. So from what I've been taught and when I've worked broadcast for Fox and FS1, okay, if the referee gives a hard warning, that's your first and last warning for an intentional foul. Now, if it happens again, you get it's automatic disqualification. It is up to the ref's discretion. He can give another warning. He ultimately has the discretion to disqualify or not. But in the rules, it says intentional foul, disqualification. So the referee was following protocol. Now, yeah, I understand it was mid-combination. Was it intentional? Was it not intentional? It's up to the discretion of the referee. It's very, very hard to decipher, us watching from the outside, if it was intentional or unintentional, because it was mid-combination. Now, the only thing that's going up against Uzcatageui was that he had already been warned once for hitting after the bell, and this was the second time. So the referee really had no choice. He had to disqualify him because there was the second time he hit after the bell. Now, what happened after is a completely different thing. I see both sides to it. Hold on, Joe the G, ref's supposed to be closer than that. After the 10-second clap, he was far away, shaking my head. He was in a position. Sometimes it's hard for the ref to move to the right position. You want to be as unobstructful as you can when you're as a referee in terms of that, but also have a really good view to see the type of damage and the body language that's happening with these fighters. So what happened after is terrible. Like I mentioned, I could see it both ways. I want to say I empathize with the uncle, because if I were to see my nephew get punched and knocked out after the bell, I would be mad. And I could see why he went and would be angry and would want to hit him. Now, two wrongs don't make a right. They had already beefed it out. They shook hands, Dirrell and Uzcatageui, and said it was cool, it was fine. So, I don't know where the uncle was when that happened, but they squashed it. Uzcatageui apologized. He went up and he got that sucker punch. Uzcatageui got a damn chin, man, because he took that punch flush and he wasn't even shook at all, so he could take a punch. It's really sad too. It's just a tough break for both of them, because Uzcatageui was winning the fight, and if he would have continued, he probably would have won the bout against Dirrell. But you can't be doing that especially in a professional sense. You can't be doing that to people. It reminded me of what happened with the Zab Judah fight and Floyd Mayweather, where Zab Judah hit Floyd in the groin, and then all hell broke loose. So he should be charged, even though I can empathize with him, and I think a lot of people in that situation probably would have done the same thing, to be honest. You get so caught up in the moment, and you see someone, like your nephew, someone you love dearly, get sucker punched like that. It's a normal human reaction to go ahead and want to do that. I'm not saying it's right, but it's a normal reaction to what... Yeah, he did hit him after the bell. What are you talking about, Damien? He hit him like 2 seconds after the bell. Come on, dude. Watch the tape. That's the other thing. People are saying he didn't hit him after the bell. He hit him after the bell, dude. He hit him after the bell. Like, really? Like, come on. The bell rang, 1.5 seconds happened, and he landed that other punch. It's very clear he hit him after the bell. So, with that being said, I don't know. Part of me wants to feel that Uzcatageui should just drop the charges, but I do understand what happened. He could have hurt him. He could have hurt him bad. And there's no place for that type of stuff to happen in the fight, So, wow. That should serve as a life lesson to anybody, that the responsibility of someone's actions and the consequences that come from your actions, you always be mindful of that too. That's a life lesson that I was taught. Always be mindful of the consequences of your actions, and take responsibility for those actions, regardless of what we're doing, if we're doing something good or bad, or a decision that we make. So moving on, Javante Davis kicked the crap out of Liam Walsh. Uncompetitive fight, just beat the brakes off the kid, knocked him out in like 3 rounds. Very good win for Javante. Javante's in a tricky situation, though, in terms of his weight class. He's at 130 pounds. You got the monster that is Vasyl Lomachenko in that weight division. After the fight, Floyd Mayweather, his promoter, saying that there's no rush to put Tank in fights like that they want to take his time because he's still young and learning, which he is. He's still extremely young at 22. He is learning. There is flaws in his game, but if you're a world champion, I think it's your obligation to challenge yourself and go up against the best. And Davis versus Lomachenko fight would be an extremely tough fight for Javante, given how technical Lomachenko is. He's a good guy. I think Lomachenko beats everybody in his division and in probably the next division up. The other 130-pound guys, Burchell, Salido, Vargas, all the top guys in that division. I think Javante gives him hell of a great fights with all those guys. I think he probably beats a lot of those guys. Salido might be one guy in which could give him trouble because of his work rate and how he gets up in your grill and just mauls the crap out of you. But I even want to say I would favor Javante in a fight against Salido, but Salido's supposed to be fighting Lomachenko in a rematch in August from what I hear. All right, you guys. So Floyd Mayweather was in attendance at the Javante Davis versus Liam Walsh fight in England. making me work overtime with all this damn footage that's being sent to me, and being late to watching Alien Covenant, which was a great movie, by the way. I felt Alien Covenant was extremely well made. It was scary, a lot of blood and gore. If I was a huge fan of Prometheus. I loved Prometheus. I thought it was a great movie, and I liked this movie as well. I had other people tell me they didn't like Alien Covenant, and I don't understand why people didn't like it. I felt that it was... We thought we had the answers, and they asked different questions, and I was left with the question of, what the heck? Where did the engineers come from? And why did they create the humans in the first place? And then also, the aliens looked a little bit different from the original Aliens movie. So, God, man, it's kind of hard to keep a thought, and then I see your guys' comments going in. So forgive me if I sound all like that. Dino Wells, I loved Alien Covenant, and Prometheus was best. Yeah. No, I loved Prometheus. I thought Prometheus was good. Michael Fassbender is an excellent freaking actor, because I hate that David character so freaking much. I can't stand looking at him, because it just pisses me off seeing him. So that was a tangent. Go see Alien Covenant if you haven't already seen it. I think it's a great movie. I can't wait to see the other one as well. Now, going back to Floyd. So I was late to Alien Covenant because Floyd decided to go and start making all sorts of headlines, being there in England for Javante's fight, him being that he's Javante's promoter. So Floyd versus Conor McGregor. It's looking more and more likely that the fight will happen. Floyd's saying that if he comes back, a 90% chance that Conor McGregor will be the opponent, which means that Conor McGregor will be the opponent if he comes back. He said it many times before. If he comes back, it's only for one fighter, and that's Conor McGregor. I still think the fight is a complete farce. It's a circus show. It's people who gonna want to see it. Is they're doing it so for curiosity factor. I think if you legitly think that Conor McGregor has any sort of chance of beating Floyd Mayweather, you're absolutely crazy. Excuse my speech right now, guys. I had coffee, and it's getting to me. But this Floyd versus Conor fight, I think, is going to be on track to maybe becoming the highest selling pay-per-view of all time if it does happen, or the second highest, because the traffic that I'm seeing from our videos, that I'm talking to other people as well, is crazy. It's on the level of Mayweather Pacquiao numbers in terms of traffic. But Floyd versus Conor looks like it possibly could happen by the end of the year. It's a farce. It's a farce fight, you guys. Don't expect a competitive fight at all if it happens. This is Conor McGregor's first professional boxing fight, and there's levels to this. It's like an amateur boxer going up against the most dominant fighter in boxing in the last 15 years. If Miguel Cotto, Canelo Alvarez, Shane Mosley, Manny Pacquiao couldn't put hands on Floyd Mayweather, or even amount to winning more than 5 rounds against the guy, how in the hell is Conor McGregor, a guy who's never fought professionally in a boxing match once, who's never won any amateur titles, any notable amateur titles, doesn't have an Olympic pedigree, none of that? How is a guy like that, who was getting handled by Nate Diaz at certain points during their fight with lead straight hands, which Floyd Mayweather does excellent when he throws them, how is this guy going to even be able to compete with Floyd? I'm going to do another video. It's going to be a counter video to a lot of people saying, oh, well, McGregor's bigger, McGregor's younger, McGregor's herky-jerky. It's all bullshit. Don't buy into the bullshit, guys. Anybody that tells you Conor McGregor has a chance is bullshitting you. It's bullshit. I wish I had a superpower, which was like, I'd be called Bullshit Man. I'd fly through a fucking window and yell, bullshit. That's what I would do to every single person that says Conor McGregor has a chance. Bullshit. He doesn't. He has zero freaking chance. Zero chance whatsoever. All right. Moving on to that. Whew. All right. Benavidez, the younger brother of Jose Benavidez Jr., David Benavidez, got a big statement in the super middleweight division, knocking out Porky Medina via TKO and like a flurry of punches. It looked like he was in freaking fast forward mode. No, I'm not a hater. You're going to see that night, Mondo. And if you're going to bet money, you're going to see that you're going to lose a lot of money because it's going to be uncompetitive. Uncompetitive. I don't understand how there's people out there that think Conor has a legit chance of winning. He has zero chance. You really think Conor McGregor is going to do better than a Miguel Cotto? Than a Manny Pacquiao? You think Conor McGregor is going to do better than a Manny Pacquiao? Like, are you serious? There's no way. No way whatsoever. Wake up, you guys. Come on. Floyd's been doing this since he was 4 years old. No competition, man. No competition. Back to Benavidez. Stops Porky Medina. Porky Medina hasn't been stopped in a few years. And hasn't really been stopped in a manner that Benavidez stopped him. That was a coming out party for Benavidez. He's the little brother of Jose Benavidez Jr., but his dad says that the little brother, David, has a lot more talent and a lot more drive than Jose. Jose used to weigh like 300 pounds. He used to be a really big kid when he was like 13, 14, and then he lost all the weight. So he's going to be one guy to watch, man. He's still looking better. He's still improving as a fighter, and he's still really young. He's only 20 years old, man. So he's on track to being the youngest super middleweight champion in all of history. There was a Canadian, I think, Van Dorn, I think, that won the super middleweight title at 21, I believe. So he would be on track to be the youngest to win that. Benavidez potentially will face the winner of Andre Dirrell and Caleb Smith. Anthony Dirrell, and Caleb Smith. Excellent fight. Benavidez is still growing. Experience-wise, either one of those two would be the favorite in a fight with Benavidez if they were to fight. Gary Russell Jr., man. Dude's little guy can fight, man. Little guy's a beast. Beat the crap out of Oscar Escandón. He really outclassed him. There's no competition. Escandón was just outgunned in every sense of the matter. There's no way. It's weird, too, because this guy was shorter than Gary Russell. And usually Gary Russell's the shorter guy, you know. Gary Russell saying after that, if he can't unify any of the titles at 126 pounds, that he's going to go ahead and move up to 130 and try to bully the 130-pound guys, which I kind of got a chuckle when he said that because I don't think he'd be able to bully Lomachenko, seeing that Lomachenko easily beat him. I was there in attendance when Lomachenko fought him. I gave Gary like one round, and there was a 12-round fight. Like, Lomachenko absolutely just outclassed him in that fight. The other 130-pound guys I think he would have success with, which is like Burchelt, Vargas, Salido, and the Japanese guy. I forget his name. With that being said, I think Russell would be excellent to fight against if you're a Carl Frampton, if Leo Santa Cruz, Abner Maris. Those are all excellent fights for him as well, ones that I want to see happen as well. Spence vs. Brook this weekend, happening in Bramall Lane in Sheffield. Kell Brook, man, I think a lot of people aren't giving this kid credit. You know, he should be the favorite in this fight. Kell has faced, on paper, a little slightly better competition than Errol Spence. He beat Sean Porter. And this should tell you something about Kell Brook. And I want to make this point, too. People are really overlooking Kell Brook. And I know why they're overlooking Kell Brook. Because Kell Brook hasn't fought anybody good since Sean Porter. And he doesn't fight often. And he never fights over here. So it's like out of mind, out of sight in terms of if you don't fight here in the U.S., U.S. fans aren't going to recognize you at all. Now, Sean Porter and Keith Thurman had an extremely close fight. I was there live. I thought it was a draw. Now, if you compare Sean Porter against Kell Brook, uncompetitive at all. Uncompetitive fight. It was all Kell Brook in that fight. He was dominant in that fight. Now, if you look at that, how Porter and Brook did, and then Porter and Thurman, you got to give the guy credit because Thurman went not life and death, but it was a back and forth tug between the guys, and Spence outclassed Porter at that point. Yeah, I understand that Sean Porter is a lot better than he was before, but you got to give Kell Brook more credit. You know, he should be the favorite in this fight. He's fighting in his hometown, and he's a world champion. So a lot more respect should be given. I think this fight is going to be contested on the Spence jab and volume. If the Brook jab and volume coming from Errol Spence. Brook doesn't throw a lot of punches. It's always probing, straight. Probing, straight. Just the 1-2. He's a really basic guy. He doesn't throw a lot, but he's just really accurate. He doesn't throw in combinations. Spence is a guy that comes forward, attacks the body and the head, and throws a lot of punches. So it's going to be a tug in volume. I think Spence can outwork him, and if he does outwork him, he's going to win the fight, but it's really dependent on if he can close the distance on Kell Brook's jab. And Kell Brook has an extremely good jab going into this fight. All right, guys, now it's time to go ahead and answer your guys' questions that you're throwing in here. It's hard to balance talking about these things I want to talk about and then your questions. So let's go ahead and get to your guys' questions. Let's see here. Brooke Porter was a close fight. Don't chat shit. Okay. What forearm exercises does Golovkin do? Please answer. Louis J. He does the typical forearm exercises, man. Dumbbells, going forward, going back. He gets a kettlebell and moves it back and forth. He has this little rope thing that he does this and brings it up. So he does a various amount of forearm exercises. Spence win by KO unanimous decision. Dino. Suraj Din. Thoughts on Murata and Dam? I haven't seen the fight, man. So I don't know. People are saying it's a robbery. I talked to somebody else who I respect very much. And he said he could plausibly see it as to why judges gave it to Ndam, which makes me think there was a lot closer fight than people thought was happening. Frederic Diarito. Who do you pick for the revenge? Klitschko, Joshua. Anthony Joshua. Younger guys usually have the advantages in rematches because their brain is able to adapt more because they're younger. They're still learning. Anthony Joshua is still learning on the job. He showed a lot in that fight. And I think a rematch favors him, and I think he'll be more dominant in that fight. Let's see here. Lewis Griffin. Why do I hate Khan? You're crazy, Lewis. You must not watch our videos, man, because we interview Amir Khan a lot. And we get along really, really well with Amir, so I don't know what you're talking about. El Americano, how heavy do you think Loma can go? 135. I think after 135, I don't think he is just big enough to be able to compete with 140s. They're just structurally bigger than him, and it's hard for a smaller guy to take a bigger frame on when you're in close quarters, and of course a punch. You know, it's a huge difference, and I think Lomachenko will start looking human if he goes and fights up against bigger guys at 140 pounds. He's going to have a lot of trouble because they're naturally bigger. Let's see, you guys. Let's see. Reading through your comments. Does Khan have a chance to win a world title? Yeah, he does. He's won world titles. He beats a lot of guys still. Let's see here. Do you think Conor will last 12 rounds with Mayweather? Ali boxing 55. No, man, I'll be surprised if he makes it 6. I'm telling everybody, Floyd Mayweather is going to knock out Conor McGregor with a straight. He's going to knock him out. He's either going to knock him out or stop him. Floyd will play with them. There'll be some moments where he lets off the gas, give the fans what they want. He's going to wreck them. And I don't care what you guys, Conor McGregor supporters, say, that it's not going to be competitive. Yeah, he's herky-jerky. Okay. You know who was herky-jerky too? Naseem Hamed. Okay? Naseem Hamed was murking fools left and right because he was so herky-jerky, so unorthodox. When he went and finally fought a guy who was so textbook fundamentally sound, he embarrassed him. That guy was Marco Antonio Barrera. Barrera embarrassed Naseem Hamed. When you're herky-jerky like that and you're going up against a guy like Floyd, it's gonna take him a while to figure it out. Take him a while, I mean like 1 or 2 rounds, But he's gonna figure it out and he's gonna make you pay. And he does a lot of things wrong. He leaves himself open. And he leaves himself for the lead straight, which is one of Floyd's money punches. The lead straight and the hook. Floyd has always done those extremely well, and he's going to hit him the whole night with those punches. All right, you guys. What else are you guys saying here? Broner or Garcia? Mikey Garcia would be a favorite in that fight. When is the Canelo versus GG fight happening? It got announced, man. It's happening in September, dude. Why are you giving Conor 0% chance? Because this is his first pro boxing fight, and he's fighting Floyd Mayweather, a guy who has been the best fighter we've seen in probably the best fighter we've seen since Roy Jones Jr. You know, it's just there's levels to boxing, just like there's levels to every other sport. There's levels to wrestling. There's levels to baseball. There's levels to football. His boxing is good for MMA because the MMA level boxing is amateur level. If you were to put any MMA guy against an amateur, a high caliber amateur, more likely than not, they'll get wrecked. Wrecked really bad. It's just there's levels. There's levels to it. And Conor's at such a low level boxing wise right now compared to Floyd. Even Floyd at 40 with 2 years out is still more than enough to be able to handle Conor McGregor. Let's see. El Nino, Loma, or Rigondeaux? Rigondeaux is a small guy. I think if they meet in the middle, it'd be competitive. Man, that's a really tough one. I'm like right now I'm picturing in my head like the styles, how they would clash, and I'm kind of like playing the fight out in my mind. It would be Lomachenko chasing Rigondeaux a lot. Rigondeaux moving, popping the jab, moving, being accurate. It'd be a close fight. Man, I want to favor Rigondeaux a little bit because I could see him being able to move and keep Lomachenko off of him with the jab and everything. It'd be a tremendous fight, but it could also end up being an extremely boring fight as well. Let's see here. Ray Leonard versus Mayweather. Okay, this is a good question, M9 Ronaldo. Sugar Ray Leonard versus Floyd Mayweather. So a lot of people would absolutely write off Floyd Mayweather in a fight with Sugar Ray Leonard. They'd say like Ray Leonard would blow out Floyd Mayweather. I don't think so. I still think that Sugar Ray Leonard would beat Floyd, would probably beat him 7-5 or 8-4. But I think Floyd, just looking style-wise, Floyd would be able to hang with the welterweights of the 80s. I think he would have been able to hang with them and been able to be competitive with them. I think Floyd would do a lot better than what most people think he would do against Ray Leonard, but I think Ray Leonard was just too complete. Ray Leonard could be defensive when he wanted to be. He could brawl when he wanted to. He could be offensive when he wanted to. He was just too much of a complete fighter. And I think the IQ would have been something really interesting to see because Floyd does have a next level IQ in terms of that fight mentality. And damn, you know what? You guys... I keep seeing these people saying that Conor's going to have this chance. Mondo BG, you're in store for a shocker. Mayweather's not going to be able to tie up Conor like he did Pac-Man. That's a big part of Floyd's game plan. No, it is not. Floyd's a defensive fighter. You don't think Conor's going to try to go after him? He's going to try to go after him. What do you think is going to happen? He's going to get tied up. He's going to go after him. He's going to throw one punch. Conor's going to try to throw the straight right hand. Floyd's going to slip, tie up, slip, make him pay. Like, come on, you guys. How do you not see this? It's obvious. Like, I don't understand, man. I don't understand. All right. Let's see. El Nino, it is a good matchup. I'd love to see it. Let's see here, you guys. Should Manny Pacquiao retire before he gets beat up by Crawford? Yeah, that'd be a tough fight. Even now at this point in Manny's career, I think he still gives Terrence a little bit of trouble. I think the main thing going up against Manny, and we saw in the Mayweather fight, is that reach. And Terrence knows how to use his reach really, really well. And Floyd knows how to use his reach very, very well in that fight. He never allowed Manny to get on the inside where he was able to fire off his combinations. And I think Terrence would do the same exact thing, though there's things that Terrence does that Floyd doesn't do and vice versa. I think Terrence doesn't move around the ring as good as Floyd does. And I don't think he is able to slip punches as well as Floyd does. I do think Manny Pacquiao would have some success in a fight with Terrence Crawford, but I don't think Terrence will allow him to cross that thin red line to get into close quarters with him. I think he'd keep him at bay for the most part with his jab. All right, you guys, let's see here. Vetting your guys, not vetting, but I'm looking over to your guys' questions here. Let's see here. Floyd will break McGregor up in over 5 rounds. I'm telling you, Floyd will knock out Conor McGregor with a straight right hand or a hook. Let's see here. Conor knows how to use his reach very well. Man, oh God, Mondo, come on, bro, really? This is not MMA, man. This is different. This is extremely different game, dude. Prime GG versus Prime Mayweather. Floyd, come on. Joe the G, you going to Canelo GG? If so, where do you think they're going to have it? I would pick Dallas ATD Center. Yeah, I plan on going to Canelo GG fight. I think the stadium, Jerry World in Texas, has a very good chance of landing the fight. I think Oscar wants to pack as many people as he can in there because he keeps going on and on about the Joshua Klitschko fight. Let's see here. The fight against Diaz at the weekend, Crawford showed he's the boss. Yeah, he's getting better. You're a McGregor hater. No, I'm not, Mark. I'm a realist, bro. I'm just calling it like it is. You know, I'm sorry that you guys can't see the truth, man. Truth hurts. Open your guys' eyes. It's not a competitive fight. He's going to get his ass kicked. How's this guy going to go up against the best of a generation in his first pro fight? Imagine, dude, could you imagine someone like an MMA fighter in their first pro fight going up against John Jones? Like, really? Like, come on, you guys. This is simple math, man, when you look at it. Like, man, I don't understand how you guys think Conor even has a chance against Floyd, man. You guys are drinking that UFC Kool-Aid, dude, for reals. Like, learn about this stuff. Like, come on. Man, it shouldn't even be a question. All right, let's see, you guys. What are your thoughts on Chocolatito? Choco, dude. All right, I think Choco's legit. Though, I think at some point he's going to have to fight Inoue. And that's a nightmare matchup for Choco. I think Inoue it's just a nightmare, man. I don't think Chocolatito is going to be able to take those punches from Inoue. Inoue is just a bigger guy, a harder puncher. And Chocolatito is already having problems since moving up to super flyweight in taking these bigger guys as punches. He's not knocking people out like he was before. When he fought Quadras, he fought Rogmansai, he fought, I think the Puerto Rican that he fought at the Forum as well. He wasn't able to stop any of those guys like he was stopping other people in the flyweight division. It's because these guys are a lot bigger than him. And when you move up in weight as a smaller guy, sometimes when you take punches of the bigger guy, it's not like how you were taking punches in your other division. These guys are bigger dudes. They punch harder. It hurts. And it has a different effect on your body. And that's what we're seeing with Choco. And if he fights Inoue, I think Inoue could potentially knock him out. It's a bad matchup for him. Choco's going to land a lot of punches on Inoue because Inoue has a lot of defensive lapses in his game, but he's just too big and too strong, I think, for someone like Choco. And the rest of the guys, someone like Quadras and Gallo Estrada as well. All right, guys, let's see. We're going on 37 minutes here. I think I'm going to finish it off in the next few minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and go through you guys' questions. I have a lot of things I got to get done, too. Do you think Choco lost against Rugmanside? No, I thought he won that fight. Yeah, he won that fight. If you think Conor can beat Floyd, just stop watching combat sports. Thank you, Kush Arcade. Thank you. God, I don't understand how there's people out there that think Conor would beat Floyd. It's crazy. Will Kovalev win again against Ward in the rematch? I actually favor Ward in the rematch, Arthur. I think it's going to be a tough fight, but I think Andre is going to go right to the body in this rematch right away and work him there because he's having success there from the 6th-round forwards. Let's see. Kovalev Ward 2. I favor Andre Ward in that fight. Thank you for the win again. Keith Thurman versus Floyd. That'd be a close fight, actually. That'd be a very close fight. Though I think Keith would have a lot of trouble with the jab. It's okay. When you guys ask me these questions, I start picturing them fighting in my head and knowing their styles and what they would do. I think Keith would be moving around a lot, trying to get in, trying to get his punches, and Floyd would just kind of bop, bop, move straight, bop, and keep him at bay. Let's see here. You're going to regret talking down Conor fans that night. Believe the hype. Mondo, you're crazy, man. Come on. You're crazy. All right, you guys. Stupid-ass MMA media keeps feeding them that shit. Yeah, Brendan Schaub. Brendan Schaub thinks Conor has some chances in that fight. It's crazy. There's no way. There's a lot of MMA guys that think Conor has a chance, and I understand they're defending MMA, they're defending their guy in their sport. But come on, man. It'd be the vice versa. If Floyd were to fight an MMA fight, I'd be like, he'd get creamed. He'd get creamed in like 30, not even that, like 15 seconds. Like, come on, you know? So, all right, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. It was good chatting with you guys. This coffee here messed me up, man. I can't talk right. Talking like a freaking tard right now. Whew. Okay, we have a lot of stuff coming up to the channel this week. A lot of content being uploaded. Oh wow, there's a bear on the loose here in California. It just came up on the news. Wow, this shows you how ADD I am. All right, at Fight Up TV, follow us. Follow me as well at Hey It's Marcos V. This week, Spence versus Brook coverage on the channel. Make sure to keep it up and tune to the channel. All this week, we're gonna have full fight coverage coming from that event. What else do we have? We got a lot of video. I'm gonna release a few videos with Chris Eubank Jr. working out, Keith Thurman on fighting Oscar De La Hoya, one of his fights that he looked forward to. I'm looking at my computer screen right now, trying to see what other videos I'm gonna go ahead and upload for you guys. I got an Adrian Broner video that I'm going to go ahead and pop off for you guys. Look for us as well for fights coming up in the next few weeks. We got stuff scheduled with Andre Ward. We're going to be going and getting content too as well. Hopefully, I got my fingers crossed with Mike Tyson. Fingers crossed that we can get Mike by this weekend. We're working on it. We're going to try diligently to go ahead and deliver on that. And I just want to let you guys know too as well, for you MMA guys that are tuning in, we're going to start beefing up our MMA coverage. I know we've been focusing on boxing a lot the last few years. We actually started as an MMA channel, and then we kind of had a disagreement with the UFC in which they, we got into it with them over a few things in terms of video that we're having. But I'm going to go ahead and start beefing up the MMA coverage for you guys as well. Because we are a channel in which we appreciate both sports, both athletes. I think fans of boxing should respect and appreciate MMA fighters and vice versa. I know there's a lot of MMA fighters. I want to say majority of MMA fighters, MMA media, appreciate, look up to a lot of boxers. And I know this firsthand from talking to these guys over the years. And they kind of get hurt and perplexed as to why boxers talk down on them a lot of the time, you know. And I think that shouldn't be happening because they're both in combat sports. They both go through hell in their training. You know, one athlete is a jack of all trades. The other one is a specialist. They both should be respected. I like both. I've trained in a lot of martial arts disciplines, wrestling, Muay Thai, kickboxing, boxing, jiu-jitsu, Aikido, wrestling. I wrestled many, many years. I want to say 10 years, 10, 11 years. So I respect both, and I think that reflects as to why I started the channel, a combat sports channel, because I like both sports. And I think, they're cousins, MMA and boxing, and I think fans should embrace. A good fight is a good fight, regardless if it's in boxing, MMA, or kickboxing. We all want to see knockouts. We all want to see motherfuckers go up against each other and bash the shit out of each other. We all want action. I think we should appreciate both sports. So thank you guys for watching. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to all you guys that have tuned in right now. Thank you so much. I'm glad you guys support the channel. Make sure to spread the word of the channel. Get all your friends that like boxing, that happen to be casuals, to subscribe to the channel. That's the only way we're going to make both sports grow, is if we share this content, share the channel to the casual fans so they can go ahead and become fans of both MMA and boxing as well. So follow us as at Fight Up TV. Follow me as well at Hey It's Marcos V on Twitter and Instagram. A lot of good stuff coming this week. Brook versus Spence this weekend. It's going to be a good fight. Man, I can't wait. So a lot of good stuff coming down the pipeline over here at Fight Up TV. And we're close, man. We're close. We're zoning in on becoming the most subscribed to channel in boxing and the second biggest in combat sports. I want to say we're about 2,000 subscribers away. So please do me a huge favor, guys. Please, please, please tell your friends, tell your wife, tell anybody who is a fan of combat sports to subscribe to this channel. I think out of all the channels, we have the best content, the best looking content. I think we have the most respectful guys doing the interviews and asking questions. We're not biased. We don't kiss anybody's ass. And I think that's how it should be if you're a media channel. And we have a responsibility to be that way for you guys, to be critical, to call a spade, to not be biased, because these guys aren't paying us anything. And that's our job, is to cut through the bullshit and get to the points as well. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Next Monday, let's make this a thing. Every Monday, I'm going to go ahead and recap the fight. So expect next Monday a recap on Spence Brook and other fight topics as well, man. Mondo, I forgive you, bro. It's all good. I still love you, man. All right, you guys. We're going to go ahead and finish this live chat. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your Monday, man.